In a small village on the edge of the desert, a group of simple people lived peacefully, working in farming and herding. Among the villagers was a man named Hassan, known for his intelligence and skill in managing businesses. However, he was also infamous for his extreme greed. He was always seeking ways to increase his wealth, regardless of how it affected others. One day, an old man with a white beard and mysterious features arrived in the village. He carried a small bag and an ancient map. The villagers gathered around him to hear his story. The old man said in a calm voice, "This map leads to a great treasure buried deep in the desert. But this treasure is not for the greedy. It is for those who understand the value of contentment." Hassan watched the old man from a distance with greedy eyes. When the crowd dispersed, he approached the old man and said, "I want that map. I'll pay you whatever you want for it." The old man smiled and said, "I won't sell the map, but it can be yours if you promise me one thing." Hassan asked, "What is that?" The old man replied, "If you find the treasure, you must take only what you need and leave the rest for others." Hassan thought for a moment, then smiled slyly and said, "I promise." Hassan set out into the desert with the map, taking his camel and some provisions. The sun was scorching, and the sands stretched endlessly. After 2 days of searching, he reached the location marked on the map. It was a small hill surrounded by rocks. With great enthusiasm, Hassan began to dig. His heartbeat quickened with every handful of sand he removed. After hours of hard work, his shovel struck something solid. It was an old wooden chest. When he opened it, he found gold and jewels beyond his wildest dreams. Hassan stood before the treasure in awe and said to himself, "This is an incredible fortune. A small part of it would be enough for me to live comfortably, but why leave the rest? It's all mine. I'm the one who found it, and I'm the one who worked for it." He began filling his bags with gold and jewels. With each bag he filled, he looked at the treasure and thought, "Maybe I'll need more. What if I need extra money in the future?" When he finished, he realized that the amount he had collected was very large and heavy. Still, he insisted on taking everything and decided to return to the village. On his way back, the wind began to blow strongly, and the sky turned yellow. A sandstorm was approaching quickly. Hassan tried to move forward with his heavy bags, but he moved very slowly. The sand surrounded him from all sides, and breathing became difficult. At that moment, Hassan realized he had to choose. Either leave some of the gold behind to survive or try to carry everything and risk his life. But he clung to his wealth. He said to himself, "I worked hard for this gold, and I won't leave it no matter what." The storm intensified, and the sand began to bury Hassan and his bags. He tried to walk, but he stumbled and fell. Over time, the sand completely covered him and his treasure. When the storm subsided, the villagers went out searching for Hassan, who had been delayed in returning. They found his camel and some scattered gold, but they didn't find Hassan. They realized that greed had cost him his life. The old man watched the scene from afar and said sadly, "I warned him. Greed brings nothing but loss. Those who want everything end up with nothing." The villagers returned with Hassan's story to teach their children an important lesson. To be content with what God has given and to work hard are the paths to happiness and success. Greed, on the other hand, is a gateway to destruction, from which no one returns. Greed is a destructive feeling. We must learn contentment and take only what we need from life without seeking more at the expense of our lives and happiness.